welcome to Kayla Inspires. If this is your first time on my channel, welcome. My name is Kayla and I am a content creator and a therapist. I love creating content to help you improve yourself in any way possible, and these are all tools and tips that I personally have used and I would recommend. So if you haven't hit that subscribe button, definitely do so that you can be notified when I come up with new videos. I post one video every single week. And now let's get into our video for today. So today's video is how to start a routine. So I'm going to share with you guys 5 tips that I think would be helpful for you as you are starting to develop a routine in your life. So tip number 1 is to decide what kind of routine you really want to incorporate in your life and how would this routine be helpful and important to you. So what kind of routine are you trying to incorporate in your day-to-day? So that might be a morning routine, that might be an evening routine, maybe it's an exercise routine. So that's the first step, is understanding what kind of routine do you need in your life and why. Like, how is this routine going to help you, or how is this routine going to just bring so much more into your life? Or think about why this routine is necessary for you right now. So an example would be, I'm pretty good about my morning routine. My morning routine is a ritual already and I don't have to even think about it. It just happens. But I have started to notice that there are certain things that I would like to have done the night before so that my mornings could be that much more easier. So what I decided was that I needed to create an evening routine. So for me, like, why was it necessary was that I realized that in the mornings, like trying to figure out what to have for lunch, or as I'm getting ready for the day, figuring out what to wear. Sometimes that could take some time, you know. So like if I don't have anything prepared for lunch, then I literally have to either prepare something quick that I probably didn't want to eat because I didn't plan it, or sometimes I just have to make a quick sandwich or quick salad. That probably will take about like 10 minutes or so. So that's taking 10 minutes of my morning. Finding an outfit, as many of you guys know, could be a challenge. So if I could the night before dedicate like 5 minutes, I'm pretty sure like 5-10 minutes at night, to think about what I'm gonna wear, try it on, see how it feels, and have it laid out for myself the day before, the morning would be so much easier. So I could wake up, do my morning rituals that I usually do, and then when it's time to get ready for work, I don't have to think about it. I can just take a shower. My clothes is already laid out for me, so that's a quick, you know, getting ready. My lunch is already done. Sometimes it's already in the refrigerator and all I have to do is just throw it inside my lunch bag, and it's going to help me so much. So that is something that I wanted to start because for me it was important to like save those 10-15 minutes in the morning, because then I can dedicate those 10-15 minutes to maybe like you know, having a cup of coffee before I leave for the day, and I'm not as rushed. When you rush in the mornings, you start feeling like some stress, you start feeling overwhelmed, and it's not a great way to start your morning. So think about for yourself, what type of routine do you want to bring into your life? And why is it important or essential for you to have it in your life? Because I always think about the why, right? Like the why is so important. We don't want to do something just to do it, or we don't want to do something because someone told us to do it, because then it doesn't become ours and we have no investment in it. So I would always say is why? Why is it important, right? So I kind of talked about mine. Now it's your turn to think about what are some routines that you want to bring in your life and why would they be important. Tip number 2 is to be realistic and clear about what your routine would look like. That's a huge important part in developing a new routine, is that it's important to be clear, to clearly know what that would look like, because that's going to determine either you are successful or it's going to fail on you. So being very clear about what that would include. So that would be to be specific about what that routine would look like. So example would be, I kind of talked about it, but my example would be like my evening routine would be, I definitely want to prepare my lunch the night before. I definitely want to have a outfit planned out so that I don't have to think about it. I could also, another big part of my morning is like getting my coffee ready. So I could also like prep my coffee the night before. So all I have to do is press, you know, start, and my coffee maker, my coffee will just start. Those 3 things for me are like really important. So it's important for me to outline that, to be clear, so that I know what to do the night before and have it all laid out. And it'd be so much more easier if you know, like for instance, another example would be if you're trying to do a workout routine, then you would probably have to use some prep work, right? So that would be either getting your outfit ready the night before if you're gonna work out in the morning, or like what I do too is I pack my my gym bag. So I pack my gym bag the night before, so it's one less thing that I have to worry about, and I make sure all the things that I need are in there, because if you do it like rushing, and this is probably something that you know, I forgot to mention as well, this is definitely something that I do, is making sure that I have everything I need in my gym bag, so that if I'm gonna go to the gym after work, I have my clothes, I have my shoes, I might have like a scrunchie to tie my hair, my water bottle, all those types of things. But literally clearly identifying what I need to carry out this routine is vital. So tip number 3 would be set reminders. So when you're starting a routine for the first time, your brain is not going to remember, right? Because we are so much in autopilot. So if you don't set reminders for yourself to start your routine, you are going to forget it. You are going to forget parts of it. It's just not going to happen. So my example would be when I started my evening routine and I tried to do it on my own, I failed, right? I failed. I probably thought about it at like 9:30 at night when it's almost time for me to go to bed, and at that time I didn't want to pack no lunch. I didn't have any energy to like do my outfit or pack my gym bag. That was not gonna happen. So one of the first things that I usually do is set a timer on your phone, and I usually recommend this to like anybody who's starting a routine, is set a reminder on your phone. So if you know that you want to start, like I'll give myself an example. If I know I want to start my routine at 8 p.m., then at 8 o'clock or maybe 7:55, I'm gonna put in a timer that's gonna go off, and it's gonna say start your evening routine. Funny thing about that is that my timer would go off every day at the same time, and my son, he already knew. He was like, oh, start your evening routine. It was so funny. So it's like it would go off every day at the same time, so it would to remind me. But as you can see, it didn't just remind me. Everybody around me knew that, all right, it's time that she starts her evening routine. So I just thought that was funny. Another reminder could be visual, right? Post-it notes. So making writing some post-it notes. So for instance, if like at night I want to set up my lunch, maybe I can put a sticky note somewhere where I'm gonna see it. Maybe as soon as I get home that I wanna pack my lunch, or I wanna, you know, maybe I did do this. I would put a sticky note on my refrigerator, and I put like 3 things that I want to get done. So I would put evening routine, I'll put like pack lunch, you know, outfit, and I did gym bag. So I actually did this one, and I think that the timer worked better for me, so that's why I stuck with the timer. All right, tip number 4 is be okay with not being perfect. This is a huge one, because the important thing about starting something new is that it's not going to come easy, because again, we are so programmed, we're like robots, literally, and this is why it's so important to be intentional. So if you are not intentional about the things you want to do, they're not going to get done. And then what happens is that we start to feel bad, right? We feel like a failure, or we feel like, oh my god, like I didn't get this done, like what's wrong with me? But our brains are not equipped like that they're going to remember new information unless we do things to recall that information. So expect to make mistakes. Sometimes you're going to forget the whole routine like I would do, or sometimes you might forget some of the routine. That's why it's so important to kind of set those visuals and those reminders, because if not, it's going to be hard, right? It says it takes about 21 days, sometimes more. I've heard it could be up to 60 days for your brain to finally like encode that into your subconscious mind that this is a routine this is something I have to do. So expect that there's gonna be times where you're gonna forget, or there's gonna be times where things happen that you're not able to get that that habit routine done. If that happens to you, just keep going, right? Say, you know what, today I forgot to pack my gym bag, so tomorrow I'm gonna make sure that I change it up so that I can remind myself. Maybe it's putting it on the sticky note, maybe it's on my alarm clock. I will put the different steps that I need to do. So brush it off, start again the next day, and keep going forward. One tip that I actually do also is that I have a dry erase board in my kitchen. And so what I do is I literally write my routines on this dry erase board. I write every single step that I have to do, even my morning routine. Although I have my morning routine done, there's parts of my morning routine, like taking my vitamins, that is not ingrained yet. It's not like programmed yet. So there are days where I do forget my vitamins. So what I try to do, if I remember, is I try to go to the dry erase board and I'll see all the steps that I needed to do. And so usually sometimes I'll notice, oh, I forgot to take my vitamins, or oh, I forgot to, you know, to grab my gym bag. That way it ensures me, right, because I'm not relying on my memory, because you can't rely on your memory. Too many things that we have in our minds. Don't even try to remember this. Like, write it down, give yourself reminders, help yourself, and if you mess up, if you forget, shrug it off, try again tomorrow. Tip number 5 is make adjustments as needed. So again, you might have everything down, you might have used all the previous tips, right? But sometimes you might have to change things up. So maybe it's checking in with yourself at the end of the week and say to yourself, like, what did I do well? Like, what parts of my routine went well? And maybe there's parts of your routine that need to be changed up. So that's really normal, because you are starting something new, and just like with everything, from time to time we have to make adjustments, and that is totally okay. So the example would be that when I started my evening routine, I started it at 9 p.m. And as time went on, I realized that it was a little later than what I really wanted to do, because by 9 p.m. it was like I was already winding down. So I decided that, you know what, I'm gonna change it up. I'm gonna make it earlier. So I changed it to 8 p.m. because at 8 p.m. I'm still kind of doing things. So that's a better time for me to still do the things that I need to do. So 9 o'clock just was too late for myself. And by then it was just like I've told you guys, like, I was already tired. I was already watching TV. I wasn't gonna get up. So definitely make adjustments as needed, and it's totally normal to do that. All right, so those are my 5 tips on how to start a routine. So just as a reminder, the first one is decide what kind of routine you want and understand why it's important or necessary for you to start this routine. Tip 2 is to be realistic and clear about what your routine will include. That's going to help you to be successful. Tip 3 is to set yourself some reminders, either visually, like a sticky note, an alarm, whatever works for you, but set a reminder in the beginning. Tip 4 is be okay with not being perfect, right? We're starting something new, we're going to mess up, and that's okay. Tip number 5 is make adjustments as necessary. So those are the 5 tips that I have for you guys today. These are all tips that I've done, I have gone through. Sometimes I still work on them. Like tip number 5 was probably a big one. It's like I'm constantly making adjustments to my routine. So comment below and share what tips you think would be the most beneficial for you. I think, like I said, tip number 5 is the one for me. So definitely share below and let me know which ones you guys kind of like resonated with the most, or any other tips that you guys have that you have tried. So I hope that you like this video. Please give it a big thumbs up to help my channel grow, and consider becoming a subscriber so that you can be notified and you can join me along as I continue to share all the fun stuff that I think would make your life so much better. All right, take care.